Welcome to Tammy Nation. Let's go.
I've been running from 9 to 5, been biting my tongue for all this time. Won't let anyone cut me short. I was thinking this was the way to go, and you put up your puppet show. I say cheers to life. No, I'll be no good man. Get me alone. I'm running the show. I'm telling you, it's my time to rise up. Live the life I'm proud of. No, you better go.
Good afternoon / it's morning a little bit yet this morning. It's 11:57 where I'm at, so that's technically still morning. But good morning, good morning. It is Wednesday, you guys, May 31st, the last day of May. I wanted to pop on and say hi, and it's an interesting topic, and I don't think it's going to be an easy one. But something happened, a situation happened with a friend of mine, and with a certain picture and a certain type of picture. And it sent me into thought the last couple of days about sending certain type of body type pictures, let's put it that way, and the kind of pictures that she was sent and why. It's one thing that adults do these body pics that they send to people, but then it's going to travel into the aspect of the children and the young teens and the things that they see and do that involve that I wanted to talk about. So, like I said, people may not comment on this one, and it is a difficult one. I'm not judging anybody at all. I'm curious. My friend, let's just say, has lived a lot of more adventures in different ways that I have. And I've learned a lot of different things through her. I always say I would hate to be out in the dating world these days. The things that I see, the things that I've learned, I don't think I could do it. I don't think that I would fit in very well. I feel like I'm 1,000 years old in my thought process when it comes to the dating scene these days and the different ways they go about it. I'm not saying that's everybody, but this is just going to be a general conversation about some experiences that she's had, that I have seen, different things that I've witnessed through even young teenagers. And I'm going to talk about a situation with a young man and what he went through as well. So what I'm talking about is, how does a conversation that you have with somebody online, let's just say you've talked to them 1 or 2 times, instantly turn into different body part pictures that they send? And I don't care if it's male or female, but what is that about? Because my thought, and this is what I said to my friend, and you guys can laugh at me and think I'm naive, I don't care. I just think these are good conversations to have. It's people laugh it off and they say, oh, it's not a big deal, or, oh, that's just the way it is. Well, I like to dive a little deeper in what the heck is going on and stuff. Hey, Beachy, it's good to see you. So this is my thing. So this conversation happened like 2 times. It was just a general conversation. Hey, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And it instantly went to body part pics getting sent. And I'm talking, this person sent the body part, the lower body part. It was a male. And my friend showed me, I'm like, what is that? What I think it is. And I don't mean to make light of this, but I had to start laughing because I thought, what adult male who doesn't even know you that well sends you that kind of picture? Because instantly I think, what happens to that picture should you guys not talk anymore? What happens even if you develop a relationship and you have that picture of this person and you want revenge? Do you go show these people, this person's body parts, to different people? I mean, what is the rule and what is the process of handling these kind of pictures of other people? Because for one, I'm shocked that people would put themselves in that kind of position or that kind of vulnerability. You know what I mean? Because once you do that, that picture's out there at forever. You know what I mean? I wouldn't ask for pics of their medicine cabinet. I'm Vici. But send it back to Mike. Barry J. Okay, I do. You know, I thought, is this too early to have a conversation like this? And I'm like, heck no, because I'm doing some stuff later with a friend of mine, but this has been on my mind for a couple days, and we're all adults here. And, you know, it isn't funny when it comes to the teenagers and stuff, and we'll get to that. But the laughter and the humor is in, you know, then you judge this picture. Do you say, oh, this is a great picture, this is not a good picture, or I want to do that, I want to get near that? I mean, it just, to me, it's ridiculous. It's like advertising different body parts to draw in somebody. And my thing, that what I said to my friend was, I said, you know what? What happens when you develop a relationship with this person? Is this a form of addiction that, you know, this person has done this to other people, and there's no more, I guess, sanctity, that their body or their personal business is not just yours and his, it's everybody else's who have these pictures and stuff. There's no sense of, I guess, there's no sense of morals and values, in my opinion, if you're just sending random body part pics out there. I said it's like fishing. Basically, this person's just sending these pictures out to whoever they communicate with on whatever platform. And I said it's like throwing the bait out there, and they hope to get somebody and reel them in with this one picture. And, you know, one picture does not make a good relationship or a good person. You know, even if the picture they send is good, you may not like who the person is in person, right? Or does it even get to that? Because I know there's some people out there that she has told me that go out there and just, that's what they do for fun. They just send all these random body pics out there and they get a thrill out of it. So, I mean, that, like I said, if you're an adult and you're in a relationship and that's what you want to do, that's your business. But those pictures are still out there should you guys break up or whatever. I mean, what do you do? Even if you delete them off your phone, they're still out there in space, right? I mean, somebody can pick them up at any time, because there's nothing that's sacred anymore that's private one-on-one. I mean, people just throw this stuff out there like it's nothing. So, I mean, what happened to just sharing that with your special someone is what I'm thinking. So, I mean, she's looking at me, lost of privacy and intimacy, MG. That's right. And then Bethia says, welcome to single life. And that's why I'm laughing, because how did I lose track of all this? I guess it's because I've been married 27 years, you know, and most of my friends are married. I got a few that aren't. But I mean, you start having these conversations and you start experiencing, when you become friends with somebody and you share different things, it's mind-boggling out there, because, you know, she's talked about the different platforms and the different ways that you contact people through these platforms and stuff. But what I'm saying is there is no such thing as just going out to dinner, or you meet somebody in person and you don't even ask them out in person that much anymore. I mean, she has said, and I've had a couple other friends tell me this too, you don't even ask each other out at that point. You get exchange information as far as phone numbers or platforms, and then you go from there. And usually it's a couple pics back and forth, and maybe you're lucky to get a coffee out of it, or it's just a hookup point. It's like, okay, we're just going to hook up. And I'm like, what the bejesus is going on in this world? Well, then there's another kind of thing coming out there, or maybe it's been out there, I don't know. And I'm talking about the progression of perversion, I guess we could say, because before we'd find pictures as adults in magazines, our parents' magazines, or, you know, videos that you would get, it would be hard to obtain them, because there seems to be a lot more control over it then, because the adult entertainment industry now, it's like on the internet, you can go anywhere. I mean, my friend was laughing at me because I have settings that I didn't know on my Twitter. And, you know, I just got a Twitter, and it would say your Twitter settings need to be changed because this is a sensitive topic or sensitive picture. So you're going to have to adjust your settings. Well, this was on something that a pastor posted. And I'm like, how can that be sensitive? And so I got my settings adjusted. And actually, it was my daughter who helped me. She's 19. And I'm like, okay, cool. I saw the picture and I'm like, that's no big deal. And my daughter says to me, Mom, you have to be careful. She said, because you're going to see some crazy things. And I'm like, oh, what, okay, honey, here's my 19-year-old educating me, the mother, on my Twitter settings. So I'm just scrolling through Twitter on my feed, and all of a sudden, I'll be darned if she wasn't right. I'm seeing stuff I had no idea that was on Twitter. I mean, I'm there for the travel pictures. I'm there for art. I love art. I'm there for obviously politics and news. I'm out there for information. I'm not there for the seedy stuff that is on there. And I'm telling you guys, laugh at me all you want. I had no clue. And I'm seeing some of this, and I'm telling you, I'm not joking. It wasn't even a matter of a few hours. And when my daughter got back home, I gave her my phone and I said, you have to fix these settings. I don't want to see this anymore. I had no idea. There's these GIFs and there's memes and there's all this stuff. And I'm like, why is this even showing up on my feed? Well, it depends on who you're friends with, obviously, then the feed comes through. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's not, and I'm not going to justify me thinking that's inappropriate. For me, I want no part of that. Those of you that are adults that want to do that, that's your business. My concern is teenagers like my daughter knowing this exists and exposing to it. And the whole breakdown of relationships, the sense of value and worth, that you are not valuable as a person if you keep your clothes on. You get men and or women by sending pics out, or different kind of funny memes. When did sexualization become the main way to attract people, is what I'm trying to say, by body parts? That is my concern. So we know, and I've talked about this before on a show in the past, about how the corruption of these teenagers and young into even elementary school, that these kids are exposed to this, and how there were trends going around in the schools about if you do this and this in the bathroom and you do it so many times with so and so, then you're the cool person. So what I'm saying is, somebody like me who isn't exposed to it and is totally naive would, for one, be laughed at and taken advantage of and bullied. I know that bullying has gone on forever. But the second thing is, then you feel like you don't fit in because you don't know this and accept this, right? So you're the one that they point the finger at. You're the one that's inexperienced. You're the one that is like, oh, come on. And like I said, I'm not judging adults. That's a whole different perspective. That just makes me think, oh my gosh, what is going on that you're doing this? Do your thing. But it's when it trickles down into the younger ages. And that's exactly what we have in this society that is going on when we see the perversion out there with the different music videos, with the different kinds of dress that people wear. And, less is more these days when you wear it. And, I'm just going to fight back on that and say, you know what? You can look good being fully dressed. You can attract somebody with your personality. Obviously there has to be an attraction, a physical attraction to trigger something. But you can be the most beautiful or handsome person in the world, and if you've got a crappy personality, you're going to be awfully lonely, because looks only go so far. It goes deeper into the heart and who you are as a person. So that's where I fall into the line of, gosh, because kids are seeing this, kids are experiencing this, kids feel devalued, and they're very troubled in looking and finding out who they truly are, trying to find their own identity. Because if they're more conservative and they don't buy into, you can be male or female depending on your mood, or you can be an animal, or you can be this or that they don't have value, and they're so lost and hurt, and they just need help. I feel they need direction, they need guidance. And what is out there is so much bad stuff. And I know that you listening who maybe aren't commenting, or who will see this later, have children, have grandchildren of your own, have friends that have children. And I know that you don't want them experiencing this either. So I guess my thing is, as adults, what do we do to help change this? What do we do to help redirect people? And I think it is having conversations like this. Whether, like I said, you laugh at me because I don't have experience in that, and you feel I'm naive and I don't respect it or like it, or if it's somebody who does partake in that and having that conversation, I think that it's time in this world to get comfortable in the uncomfortable and have the conversations that normally maybe we wouldn't have had. And I believe lack of unity, lack of conversation, lack of understanding has really taken us down this path that people are separate and segregating and doing things behind the scenes and in the quiet and in the dark. And we need to bring, I believe, things like that into the light. I mean, I really do. The other example that I started to talk about was there's a 20-year-old that I know who started talking to this woman online, and they were sending pictures, normal pictures and all that, having a conversation. They had the same kind of interest and stuff like that. And this went on for, months on and off, and they were just kind of friendly back and forth, and stuff. And the next thing you know, this person sends him pictures of the lower parts and all that, and then the upper parts, and we know what that is. So he was like, wow, that's pretty amazing, you're gorgeous, blah blah blah. So it takes it, like I said, it takes it from that, maybe you're a good person and I'm interested in dating you, to that whole another level that's a little bit lower. It goes immediately to the sexualization. Well, ironically, this person, after they've shared pictures or whatever, this person comes out and says, I hope you don't mind, and you need to know that I am trans. And I don't want to pick on anybody that, like I said, adults are one thing, kids are another, but this is an example of the reeling it out there, putting the body parts out there, hooking that fish, bringing them in. And then instead of saying up front, this person was trans, I want to make sure you're comfortable with this, they lure you in with the visualization of their body parts and stuff. They lure you in with some kind of conversation that doesn't go with that. And I know that not every conversation needs to start with, I'm an alcoholic, or I'm gay, or I'm straight, or I'm a Christian, or whatever it may be. But before you send the body parts and try to take it to that next level where you trigger the mind and get somebody hooked into you physically as well, you would think that you would say that. So the bottom line is, this was a man that transgendered into a female, and it blew his mind, because he's like, are you, yeah, he was very kind about it. He was like, you know what, it's just not my thing. I can't do that. Thanks for telling me, blah, blah, blah. So that is my point out there, with people not being forthcoming on who they are or were, but you're going to send body part pictures first to lure somebody in. I think that's a bit of manipulation and trickery, and I don't understand why that's happening nowadays, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I don't know how we reel that back in, because the level of the sexualization that is out there everywhere has trickled down into even the younger children. We've talked about the different books and stuff that they have in the libraries and stuff for our children and stuff. And I think that, there has to be a moral compass somewhere. Even if you're into that kind of thing, the moral compass needs to be there, where, yeah, you may have done that. Yeah, but you're going to do your best to make sure that anybody that is younger around you doesn't get exposed to it. And your reaction to that, when you experience that around somebody younger, is going to be that of a responsible adult. And I'm not, like I said, trying to make anybody feel guilty or bad. I know that people watching may not like it and turn me off. That's fine. But we need to still talk about it, because it's the generations that are up and coming that I have concerns about. And I'm concerned about the level, how it went from magazines into the internet and social media, now into the dating platform. There's no such thing really as dating. It's like you scroll left or right. There's no value of that person being a human. It's basically on physical attraction. Back in the day, we used to meet people, talk to people, and if we were attracted to them or wanted to date them, we'd ask each other out. Now it's as simple as this. You look and you scroll on your phone, and there is nothing there but the visualization of, yes, this person's attractive, so I'm going to scroll this way, and no, that person's not, so I'm going to scroll that way. And we become just like pieces of meat, really, is what I'm saying. It's just, we've sunk into a new low, in my opinion. I don't know And there may be situations out there, but generally, how many relationships and or marriages or long-term relationships have come from just scrolling on these different platforms? Because I know that it's tricky because the different platforms have different representations of who's dating who or how you're going to date or what this platform means as far as the physical attributes. Sometimes it's just hooking up for the day, sometimes it's this or that. So I just think, like I said, I would be extremely lost, and I'm thankful that I don't have to go through that. And I feel bad for the people that do, because probably the people out there, the majority of people, even if you wanted just to walk up to somebody and ask them out, or you met somebody somewhere and you wanted to ask them out, they may look at you like you're from a foreign land, because you're supposed to just ask for a number, and you're supposed to just, hey, what social media platforms are you on? And people would laugh at me, because if they asked that of me and I was out there, I'm like, okay, I have Facebook, but it's private and that's it. I mean, obviously YouTube, but I mean, that's a whole different scale. So I don't know, you guys, it hit me hard that the challenges that are out there for the kids and teenagers and young adults these days is really devastating and really real. And the fact that, they're trying to find jobs, they're trying to establish careers, and then they're trying to establish dating. All the different things that we went through growing up and in our generation, they just seemed a lot easier. And I know that every generation seems to think that, but growing up in this generation or this time, I just think is really challenging. And I think the point I'm trying to make is we have to take some responsibility for our actions, try to help these people, help these kids, help these teenagers, help these young adults maneuver through life these days. What I was going to say was, MG, it reminds me, you were a model. Really, MG, you were a model? Sounds like shopping for things. Yeah. Well, the modeling industry, I have a friend who was actually an actress, and we had a conversation about acting and modeling and stuff. And, she's like in her late 60s now, and she modeled for many years. And she said she didn't have the man above in her life and got out of it. And she recently got back into it. But so the point is, there's a way to work around that. You don't have to partake in what's going on. Just because it seems like the majority is out there doing a certain thing doesn't mean it's right. There's still right and wrong. And it doesn't mean that you need to partake in it. And that's the thing that I worry about, are the kids, because as adults, we have, we're supposed to be the leaders. We're supposed to be the ones that, are intelligent and guiding this younger generation of kids. And I think that we have a huge responsibility on us to help retract and reel this stuff back in, because to me, it's just so wild. It's getting all over the place, and it's just not doing them any good. So that's where I'm coming from, a place of, how do we help people? How do we help the younger generation? How do we flip and make it okay to be a modest person? It's okay to cover up. It's okay if you don't want to entertain these kind of pictures on the internet and on your phones and from other people. How do we give them the strength and the courage to say, you know what? I don't want to fit in. I don't want your body picture. Because I'm telling you, if somebody sent me a body picture like that, I would be insulted. I would think, you know what? You think you don't even know me, but you already think so little of me that you think that's going to be something that's going to reel me in to want to date you and take you seriously. Any adult that doesn't know you, that does send stuff like that to you, that's not just somebody that how do you base good morals and values on a picture like that when you don't know somebody? You don't. If they can do that to people they don't even know, what are they like in other decisions and other ways of their life? I don't get it. I don't understand it. So I can't imagine how confusing, that's my point, it is for the younger generation, because guess what, you guys, they're just growing up in this. They're growing up in this, just scrolling left and right, seeing stuff on Twitter. Like I said, none of that shocks my kids. And it's shocking to me that I had to put my sensitivity settings back on. And, like I said, you can have fun in life, you can live a great life, you can laugh and joke. There's dirty jokes that people do, but it's adult to adult that know each other and friends, and it's not just out there right from the get-go. And that's a reflection, on who you are. If you don't care who sees your body parts right from the get-go, and you're flinging them out there in pictures to everybody left and right, how do you expect people to take you seriously? How do you expect somebody to think that you're marriage material, whether you're male or female? How do you think that anybody's going to have respect for you? It's just lost on me. And maybe I'm old fashioned. I don't know, but I just feel that that's just the wrong way to go. And I think that we are doing a disservice to the younger generations by just not confronting it and having conversations about it. And I'm not talking saying to your kid, what are you doing, and yelling and screaming at them and taking their phone away as punishment. I'm talking about having a conversation about, this is what's going to happen if you continue down this path. Or maybe you don't want to do this. You want to save it for when you have a solid relationship with somebody or something. Just not out the gate on the get-go, like just anything goes. And, to bring some standards back, bring some respectability back to our bodies and our minds, and that we are more than just flesh. We do have, souls. We do have opinions. We do have things that we have to share that don't have to be all along the body. Why do you think the movies that are adult movies, that whole addiction to that is so rampant now? Because it's easy. People are looking for something, a void to fill. I don't think it's any different than an alcohol addiction, or an addiction to lying, an addiction to cheating, stealing, whatever the addiction is. I think that is just a new thing, or a newer thing, that has grabbed a hold of a lot more people. The enemy has grabbed a lot more people because it's so easy. Now you just go on your phone and you can see it. You can see it anywhere. You don't have to work so hard to find it. And it doesn't matter what level of it you want to find, whether, we know that all these people have different say freak flags now that they are flying. And like I said, the last thing I want to talk about is my friend also got a picture, and I started with this. It's an adult male that she's known from back in the day. And this adult male seems he's fit. He seems everything's normal, okay? But behind the scenes is he cross dresses. And like I said, adults, that's their business. That's what they want to do. But the problem is, this person has progressed over the years in the fact that they don't want to stay behind the scenes anymore. They want to be out there as this cross dresser. But the thing is, it's the baby part. The baby, how it's coming out now, where the adults have the pacifiers, they have the cribs in the adult size cribs in their rooms. And, he wears, the pictures that I've seen, he wears makeup like a woman, but he has a pacifier. He has the big satin bonnet on, and he has the dress, the baby dress on, and the big silk adult diaper thing. And he wants to go out and about like that. And, he was showing different outfits to her and stuff like that, asking her opinion. And I thought to myself, God, nobody has ever done that to me. I mean, I guess I have that air about me that, don't bring that here. I don't know. But she was saying to me, what is it about me? Because she's starting to think, what is wrong with her, or what is it about her? She's judging her own self, that these people feel comfortable enough to do this to me that don't even know me. She's like, is it the way I look? Is it the way I act? I mean, what is going on? She goes, I don't instigate this. So that's the next level when it comes to kids. If adults are saying, what the heck is wrong with me, or what's going on? What am I doing wrong? Which, she's not doing anything wrong that I see. And they're comfortable doing it to her. Can you imagine how easily influenced younger kids are? The teens or the younger that I've been talking about, they're influenced, they're easily manipulated, they're easily influenced. And then they might laugh and think it's no big deal and partake in it. That's the whole problem. They shouldn't be partaking in it at all, at that age, that impressionable age, because we talked about the whole switching and the whole to me, mutilation of the body and stuff that they do. And I said before, when I covered this transgender stuff on another show, that these kids that are doing this now, this is irreversible. You cannot change what you do to your body surgically like that. So what is going to happen to the mindsets of these kids that are underage, that the parents are allowing this to happen to them when they're in their 18s, 20s, 30s? What is going to happen then? Because they can't reverse it. So I guess this is just a blanket of the sexual perversion that I believe that is going on all different levels, and it's attacking people in all different ways. I don't care if you laugh and think it's fun and then you walk away, or if you're engaged in that. I just think that it goes to levels that are just evil and not good, especially when it comes to kids. There's no excuse. There's no excuse to affect, influence our kids the way that they're being visually and mentally attacked, in my opinion. There's no excuse for that. Growing up is hard enough, but when you're dealing with all this kind of stuff, it's a whole nother level. And I think that they're confused. I think that they feel like they're ostracized. And so they're looking for acceptance. And, I guess it's just a different level, because people are through all humanity have been looking for acceptance. And, there's different levels that we've seen people do different things. There was the hippie phase, et cetera, that people look and dress a certain way. The grunge look was good for a while. Then the gothic look was good for a while. But see, this has progressed to a different level where we're actually chopping off parts of our body and going through different surgeries as minors, and adults are allowing that to happen. So that's where my concern grows. And it's like, how do you help them? How do we change this? How do we flip this? And I guess that's why I'm just putting that out there today, because it's something that I've been thinking about. It's something that I covered a while ago on a couple shows. I've talked to about this, and it's bothering me. And I think that these tough conversations, like I said earlier, need to be had, whether you agree with me or not. At least can have the conversation, and we figure this out together somehow. Maybe they'll be new, or maybe we can be a part of different support groups and stuff, because I feel that a lot of the churches have failed in many ways with humanity and the way they are. Not all, but a lot of them are very judgy, are very pushing people aside and discounting people. My whole thing is, don't leave anybody behind. Don't turn your backs on people. I've said it about the veterans. I've said it about mental health. I've said it about our elderly, and it's no different with this. However, with this, it is our younger generations, because what are they going to be like as they grow into adults? And that is my concern. What is humanity going to be like? So I just feel like we need to get our crap together, you guys. I believe that we need to vocalize and have conversations about things that aren't comfortable. We're not all going to agree, but we're going to learn and have different perspectives. When you talk to some of these people who are troubled, I also have a friend, it's I guess acquaintance, that is transgender, also changed from male to female. So I've had conversations with that person as well. So it's not like I'm just throwing it out there and trying to judge. That's absolutely not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to actually get deep into the field, gain experience, knowledge, and wisdom from these people to see what I can do, or we can do, to change it and help it and make it better. Because I do believe these people are hurting. I do believe they're ignored. And I believe that it's no different, like I said, from the hippie generation to the different generations where people want to stand out and want to protest and do different things to make some noise, to be seen. That's not the problem. The problem is it's getting to the youth of this world. It's getting to the youth, and the youth, if they're just messed up and they're being, some of them have mental health issues. Some of them are indoctrinated. Some of them just want to fit in. There's all different reasons they're doing it. But the thing is, out there in society. There's so much stuff out there. We know the different stores that are pushing it. We know that these different corporations are pushing it. And I just think that it's time for us to speak out and fight back. I know I saw something about the Target situation with Benny Johnson. We all know that, they had that whole display of the different, like the rainbow flags on the clothes for these young kids, and the books that say it's okay if I'm gay, and all that were targeted by Target to the younger kids. And there was all that riffraff and yelling and screaming that came out about it and the protesting for it. Benny Johnson did a video where he went back to the same store that he did the first video on, and all of it was removed. And I know that there's been talk that they've removed it or pushed it to the back. I guess it's different in every store. But I want to ask you guys this too, and to think about this, because I started thinking, these corporations who are promoting this with this Dylan guy, like Budweiser, like the Kotex and tampons commercials, using males to females, the Target, you would think to yourself, these are educated people, they're millionaires and billionaires. Why would they keep doing this when they see other corporations paying the consequences on their bottom line financially for enabling this and having males as females as their representatives? You would think that they would learn, right? And they wouldn't do it. Like, why would Target come in after Budweiser, and they seen what happened with Budweiser? Why is Kohl's coming in after Target when they saw the billions lost in the short period of time? When these are smart, educated people, and you say, well, it's their marketing people or their promotion people, and they're willing to take the risk in order to make all that money. Yet when they see billions lost that fast, they're not stupid. I have a theory that they're doing it intentionally, because what happens is we, the people who have the ultimate control financially, when we pull our money back and they lose all this money, what do they have to do? They have to start laying off people. And guess who they get lay off? Us. The big people up there who run these corporations and have billions of dollars. Yes, they're losing billions. However, they can recover. They can downsize. They can change what they're doing to try to recoup some of them losses. And yes, nobody likes to lose billions of dollars. But however, the bottom line is, who does it ultimately affect when they keep doing this? It's you and me, the people that are struggling to make ends meet, that are trying to keep food on the table, that are trying to keep gas in the car. And that's their excuse for laying you off and letting you go. Well, we lost all this money. We can't afford to pay you anymore. So my thing is, and it's just a little theory that I thought of, because people that got rich and got to be billionaires and have these corporations are not stupid. They watch each other. They know what's going on, just like you and I do. So when we keep saying, oh, why is Target doing that? I can't believe it. Why didn't they learn? Oh, Kohl's is doing that. Why didn't they learn? And I think to myself, oh, they did learn. They do know. I think they know exactly what they're doing, because it's just an excuse to dump on us, the American people, the ones struggling to make ends meet. And maybe they'll have robots. Maybe they'll have the automated cashiers. Maybe that's their excuse. It's cheaper to have these automatic cashiers than a person there. And whereas it desensitizes everybody, doesn't it? Because when you go into a store now, there is really no personability to it at all. We are all just going in, buying what we want and need, and then cashing ourselves out. Like, we're the employee. We really should get a discount and paid for cashing ourselves out, right? And they're saving all this money because that one-time installation and the maintenance on a machine, to me, automatic casher outer is whatever you call that thing. That's way cheaper than having a human being there, because a human being you have to pay benefits to, or you should, or if something happens and they call in and you don't have staff to cover, it creates all these different issues, right? And they don't want to deal with that. So these major corporations, by just saying, hey, yeah, I lost all this money, they can just lay you off or fire you or whatever, needs to be done, and it's a done deal. And there's nothing you can do about it, right? You say, "Well, I understand, but you're going to complain about it a little bit and say, "Well, why would you go and make that mistake?" Well, I don't think it's a mistake. I think it was probably intentional with the way things are going. And you look at the automated different things that are out there, the different, robots, when you look at the videos online, and I know I transcended into all of that, but it's just kind of a general flow of what's going on, because it still ties into people looking for jobs and these kids that are growing up not only in this mental chaos environment of where do I go for a job? Where do I go for a career? What is going to be my stability? So therein, it's easier to manipulate them and make them fall in line to whatever their personal agenda is for them. And it is a lot of it's all bad. I don't think that it's very positive. I don't think it's godly. I don't think it's morally correct. I don't think it's anything good. I think that it's very dark. And I think that's why we really have to stand up and stand out and be strong voices for these children and say, you know what, it's not right. And I understand that you may not want to go to college because you don't know where you're going to end up, because there's no guarantees. It's not like you take a certain path and you are guaranteed to have a certain direction like you did in the younger generations. You could start off in one place and you could build your way up and become a partner in the business, or you could it's not that way there all the time as affluently as it was back in the day. Still some places, yes, but it's not everywhere. So that's my thing. I just think that, gosh, they're just the way we are is hitting the kids mentally so hard in all these different ways that it's very sad. And part of the automation process in these stores, as I was saying, is they lose the personability, the human contact, the human interaction. How many people are saying that they don't know how to interact with people anymore? They have no idea. They isolate themselves. They stay in, they get the DoorDash, or, all the foods carried into the door. I mean, into the house. You don't have to go out. So I think that it'd be awesome to break through all that and flip it all and go back to having different events where everybody goes, and different fairs or different gatherings and things like that, and get back to conversations. Anymore, it seems like if you don't agree with each other, people just say, okay, I'm leaving, or I don't want to talk to you anymore. They just cut you off. There's no sense of going back and forth and trying to find a happy medium and work together as people. I have friends that have different beliefs than me and different experiences than me, but I learn from them, and I hope they learn from me too. I do not want to be around the same people that have the same thoughts, almost robotic all the time. I like being challenged. I like learning. I like growing. And I'm comfortable enough in myself to say, you know what, I don't know everything, and I may say things wrong or do things wrong, but I'm trying. Because without trying and experiencing failures in your life, you're never going to get successes. If you stay in that comfort zone in life, you're never going to learn or grow. And I don't think you feel live a satisfied, good life. I think you have to challenge yourself all the time. And sometimes you're going to fall flat on your face. I mean, look at how many people you can look at stories of that fell flat on their face because they've made the wrong choice, but they move on. It's not how many times you get knocked down in life, and you hear this all the time. It's just a matter of you getting back up again. And that's what life is about. And dang, I just feel so strongly about that for these kids now. When you look out there and you see how lost they are, you see how sad they are, you see how they're confused they are, it angers me. It really angers me. So I'll stand up and stand out about it. I just choose to do that. Sometimes you got to talk to the dead people. Oh, you know what, Cam, you're so funny. And Cam's a good example. I've said this before. There's people that are like, why are you and Cam even talking? Why would you be friends with him? And his people probably say, why would you be friends with her? Cam and I have different experiences, but you know what? He's one of the coolest people I've ever met. And he does have a good side. And I know that people sometimes don't like to be exposed for their good side. Cam's a good man, and I'll say that forever. I lost people because I talked to Cam, because why? They put Cam in a box. And that's what I'm saying. Not just Cam, but I mean, they put people in a box. People put me in a box too for a little while. I said a curse word, or I entertained, some people. Sometimes, you know what? You got to mix it up a bit. And maybe Cam and other people will bring out the best in me, and I'll bring out the best in them. That's what it's about. It's not about just drawing lines and saying, we're not going to cross this line. That's it. When it comes to trying, Cam has family. Other people out there that have been judged have family. We all pretty much want the same thing. We want our kids to grow up in a somewhat normal life, having fun, living life, laughing, and enjoying life. And Cam, like Cam said, scary people. Sometimes dead people are smarter than living 99% of the time. That's true, Cam, the so-called dead, so-called. Yeah. So, and I don't know. I don't want to get off on a super long tangent. This is really long. It's just, it just hit me hard because I see good people out there that get turned away. People shun them. People judge them. They turn their backs on them. And it's not just the adults, it's the kids. Or because kids, they can't help who their parents are either. Let's not forget that. That's why God always says, don't judge people. Don't judge a book by its cover. You can't do that because people are very good at being one way, acting one way and being another. And so I don't know. I just always believe you got to get into the dark and the deep and experience it to be able to talk about it, to be able to share that with other people, help other people. Whatever it is that you have in your experiences is something you can use to help other people. And I always say God gives us gifts, and it's up to us to apply them and use them. The Holy Spirit guides us and directs us, and we're to use them. If we don't use them, then we're not living our best life. And it doesn't matter how late or early you start. It's just you got to start. When I die, I want to make sure that I lived my best life, that I did the best I could do for everybody I came across, that I loved hard, I learned a lot, and that when people think of me, they think of me well with a smile on their face. And I don't ever want to hurt or judge or turn my nose up at anybody ever. I think I've done a good job of that. I've been emotional sometimes like anybody else and said some things like in emotion here and there, but I've never been one to, like I said, be so insecure with myself that I lash out and try to hurt other people because of my insecurities. And that's a whole nother topic. I won't even go there. But the last little thing that I want to put out here, you guys, and this is the final, this was like my little trigger or touch from the man above to go ahead and do this today. And it was my devotion for today, the overview here. And it is, beloved children, pleasing to God. And it says, God delights in those who love him and want to do his will, even when they stumble. As believers, we're supposed to imitate Jesus, and that might seem impossible to us. After all, he was the Son of God. In fact, God the Father even attested several times, "This is my beloved Son in whom I am well pleased." How can we possibly live up to that? I mean, how many of us, we think, okay, we hear that, and we're like, well, I'm out, because there's no way I'm going to get anywhere near that with the stuff I've done in the past, the way I am. There's no way. But that's all lies. That's all from the enemy. That's all from the enemy. Thankfully, God doesn't expect us to be perfect. He knows we're still learning, just like a parent who rejoices over a baby's first steps. So our Heavenly Father delights in our steps as we seek to walk with him. And that's the thing, we walk with him. He's with us all the time. It's whether we accept him in or not. And I don't care what you do. God, as far as not hurting other people or children, God made us who we are. Don't forget. And he doesn't make mistakes. Okay. He doesn't make mistakes. We're the one that makes the mistakes, not him. Don't ever blame him. And don't ever turn your back on him because you think he failed you. We failed him. It's about taking responsibility for our actions, our thoughts, and if we want to forgive ourselves or not, if we want to turn to God and say, please forgive me. It doesn't mean you have to wear a white robe and be saintly all the time. That's totally impossible. And that's totally boring. That's not what God wants you to do. He wants you to live your utmost best life, and whatever that may be. And whatever that may be, as long as you love one another and you don't harm people, you don't lie, you don't cheat, you don't steal. It's the 10 commandments. Just live by the dang 10 commandments. People just make it so hard and so confusing. And, Christians or people that believe in Jesus, people are waiting and always waiting to point their finger at you and say, look what you said, look what you talked about, look what you did, look how you look. No, we're not. Who are we to judge? We don't do that. We're supposed to love and accept and learn and grow. And it says it right here. And it says right here, we rejoice over our baby steps, so our Heavenly Father delights in our step as we seek to walk with Him. The goal is growth. Once a toddler walks, the parent's delight shifts to more mature achievements. As long as we keep growing in our faith, we will never cease learning new ways to please our Father. He loves us and patiently cheers us on at each new level. Don't forget that. He's our cheerleader. He's not the one that says, oh, you need to go in the corner. You misbehaved. You need to pay for that. That's not him. That's the enemy. That's the enemy. When you mock people, when you mock God, when you make fun of things in a negative, bad way, that's not from God. Nope. That's from the bad guy. That's when we have to say, you know what? I'm sorry, forgive me, and repent. People don't like that word, repent. You know why? Because that talks about us taking responsibility for the stuff and mistakes that we've made and done and said, and we don't like to look at ourselves. We like to point the finger at other people. That's easier. That's easier. So, and it says, what's important to the Lord is our heart. And I've always said that. You have to give from the heart. And, it also says protect your heart, because that's where everything flows from. And that's where I fail. I fail that a lot. But I'm learning. Amidst all our frailties, failures, and temptations, God sees our inmost thoughts and motivations. Remember, God sees it all. God knows it all. So you can pretend you're fooling him, but you're not. So no matter what you do or what you say, he's always watching the actions you take, the things that you speak. He sees it all. He knows it all, whether you're being truthful or not. And you don't have to explain that to the people around you. And you don't have to, you can hide from that. But see, you can't hide from God. It doesn't matter if you believe in him or not. It doesn't believe anything. He knows it all. So are you a follower? Are you a believer in Jesus? Are you true in how you are and who you are? Or are you not? And I mean, like I said, everybody makes mistakes. That's not what he's talking about. So it says, God sees our inmost thoughts and motivations. Ooh, that's a big one. He knows how much we love him and desire to obey. Even in our stumbling, he helps us up and encourages us with his word. If you're prone to perfectionism, give yourself grace and time to grow. That's another thing that people like to do. Oh, you think you're so perfect. Oh, you act so perfect. Oh, you're judging me. No. A lot of times, really, Christians are just as hard on themselves, if not harder, than the people that don't call themselves that. Why? Because we have a big responsibility as speaking out for Christ through Christ with the Holy Spirit. So there's a big burden on us that way, a big responsibility. And we have to talk to our maker, God, when we go and explain why we said what we said and did what we did in his name. And that's why I got on the false prophets for a while there. There are many out there, and they have a lot of explaining to do. We all have explaining to do, but I wouldn't want to be in their shoes, because that's biblical. It talks about them and how they lead God's people astray. And that's I wouldn't want to have any part of that. And the people that follow them, that choose to ignore God's word and follow them, that is idolatry. That is worship of a person, not of Jesus. Not of Jesus. And that's where we get into trouble. So it says that if you're prone to perfectionism, give yourself grace and time to grow. That's what the Father does. So learn to see yourself through his eyes. He's waiting not to berate your efforts, but to help you develop into the person he designed you to be. So once again, stop beating yourself up. If God doesn't beat you up, your maker, who are you to beat yourself up? And why would you do that? That's the enemy taking control. Because remember, the enemy comes to steal, lie, cheat, and take your soul to the pits of hell. God comes to help lift you up, make you who you can be in him, so he can take you up to heaven and be with him for eternity. So who is it you want to follow? Really, that shouldn't be a hard choice, because I've said before, and I've said many times, and we know this, we look to people and we idolize them, which is not good, but they will fail us. You are not who you are by the eyes of another person, whether it's a husband, wife, partner, friend. You are who you are in the eyes of Jesus Christ. If you focus on that, who Jesus says you are, and you pray to him and you believe in him and accept you into the heart, and you ask the Holy Spirit to activate the Lord in you and activate your path, your compass, you're going to be all good. You're going to face challenges and everything else, but you're not going to stumble as hard as you would without him. You're not going to stumble as deep and far as if a loved one betrays you, or a mother or father doesn't give you the love or the attention that you know that you deserve as a human being from a parent. A lot of these deep-seated issues start slowly working their way out and fade away if you realize the only person you have to explain yourself to is the man above. You're a lot freer. Yes, we want to be liked. Yes, we want to be loved. Yes, we want friends and wives and husbands, but we want the right ones. And if we are convoluted in our ego and what gives us a thrill, or our fleshly desires, we're never going to achieve that fulfillment that we achieve when we go through God and the Holy Spirit first. Because what happens when we do that? He brings in the correct people into our lives at the right time. And it may be for a short time, a long time, it may be a lesson, but we have to be humble enough and we have to be open enough to realize we don't know it all, and we have to want to accept help and guidance from him. Not for 1 minute do I believe Jesus wants us to be boring people. Not one for a moment do I not believe that he doesn't want us to sing, dance, be silly, tell jokes, and have a good time. And that's another box people put Jesus and the Jesus followers into. They think you have to be a certain way. Otherwise, oh, you're falling out of Jesus's line. How boring would it be if we all just walked in a line in white robes, looking down at a Bible, being like robotic? That's not what life is. That's not we as humans full of the Holy Spirit are to be. We are to ignite. We are to enlighten. We are to create. We are to share love. And, we don't even have to go into the point of enabling bad behavior. We know that's not acceptable, but we have to love people. I always say, don't enable people. Enabling people means you look the other way while they're doing the bad behaviors, or you're partaking in the bad behaviors. I put it on my community page by Spencer Smith. Brother Spencer Smith put a thing and he said, Jesus came here and he sat with the sinners, but he did not partake in the sin. And it says it's vitally important to know the difference. And that's true. That's what enabling behavior is. If your friend or your loved one is doing something wrong, you should call them out and say, hey, I don't know if this is the best decision. I don't know if this is the best idea. I'm not saying yelling and screaming and getting all emotional about it. That's not what God would do. But you do have to call them out. If you just accept it and laugh it off, that's you participating in the sin. And that's not you being a godly person. And I expect people to do that with me too. And people have. People have said, whoa, Tammy, we're in, and it's set me back. And I'm like, you're right. Or somebody says, you know what, you may have good intentions, but what are you actually doing? Are you helping? Are you hurting? Or is it something that you need? So, putting ourselves in check. I'm telling you, I haven't felt ever better in my life. And I want that. And I have passion for that for everybody else, because when you let go of the crap or the mistakes you've made or the things you've said or done, you let go of it and you give it to God. That is so freeing. Dang, there's so much more time to enjoy life and have fun and do the things that you want to do, because you're not in your mind going, oh my gosh, and beating yourself up for the same crap from years ago, or beating yourself up because you haven't, made up with somebody or a loved one. Like I said, this has been a whole journey for all of us, from being locked up for 3 years to being set free again. Some people don't want to be set free. They're still in that mindset. Some people are out there, oh, I don't want to cause any more waves. We've dealt through so much tension that I'm just going to accept everybody and I'm just going to hang my head low and mind my own business and ignore everything going out there. Well, that's not what we're called to do. I mean, this short life that we live, we're not called to be meek and weak. We have the power of the Holy Spirit active in us. The same Spirit that rose Jesus from the dead is in us. It's up to us to use it and activate it. And I don't care if you're mocked or made fun of, because that's on other people. You have to remember that. You can't make everybody happy. Not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to believe in who you are. But you'll find the right people. You know what I'm saying? The people that want your best interest, who have your back, who accept you for who you are and want to guide you towards Christ in a gentler way, or a way you need to be guided, or to show you the different experiences in life that are out there to enjoy. Don't put yourself in a box either, All right. Oop, I just dropped my phone. Let me see. I learned not to care what people say. Judge me. I'm living life to the fullest. What are they doing? Bitching. LOL. You know what? I'm going to pick up my phone. You know what, Cam? And I'm telling you guys, Cam's a good example of what I've seen recently. Cam's been through hell and high water, past life, not his past life, but in the past, he's made changes. He's done good. So now he's out there doing what he loves to do. And if that's what he wants to do, he's doing the, the different paranormal stuff. He's got his, what do you call those things that you fly, those hovering things? I can't think of what they're called at the moment, but he's doing that. So Cam is out there doing what he enjoys. And there's a lot of people that didn't accept that and didn't want that. I've seen other people out there too switch up what they do, because people think that your attitude and your opinions and what you do is going to be the same. Like it's set in stone, what your beliefs are, what your actions are, who you are. You know what? That's pretty boring, because as people, we're supposed to learn and grow and adventure out there. So what I may have accepted or liked last week, I don't accept this week or like this week. I have a right to change my mind and grow as a person. You know what I mean? Dang it. What are those hovering things? What are those remote control things? I can't think. I'm distracted, Cam, because I can't remember what they're called. What are they? Those remote, anyhow, Blondie's getting distracted here. Hey, D-Dog, don't let others tell you what to do. Do your thing and show by example of good. Exactly. I'm going to say D-Dog's another example. And I'm sorry I'm using you guys, but really not really. D-Dog, you look at D-Dog, he's got all this hair, he's got this beard, he wears this hat, he's not dressed in a suit all the time. And people were like, what? You do this and this, the Constitution, you're fighting for people's rights and what's right and wrong in the state that you're in. That's pretty amazing. So what I'm saying is, if you would look at D-Dog just an instant look of how he looks, you wouldn't believe the work that he does and the fight that he's fighting because of his outward appearance. And that's why I'm saying too many people don't go deeper into who people are. And that's how I started this show, was talking about the social media, how you scroll on a phone to try to find a partner by looks. I don't think that's a good, it's a drone. Thank you, D-Dog. It is. That's the word. See, he can call me Blondie and get away with it. That's what I was trying. I couldn't think of it. I'm like a hovercraft on my hover thing, because this is why I was distracted, D-Dog. Last night, I was out with some friends, and we were outside, and I heard this humming, and we look up, And there is a neighbor of ours that has one of those, that's like the big fan on back, and you ride it, and it's got the umbrella on top. And it's like this hovering craft that he goes way high up there. I've seen it on the ground in his front yard. And that's why I was thinking of a hovercraft. Hey, Benjamin, good to see you. And I thought, this guy's like, he's strapped into this on this metal seat, this big industrial whatever kind of fan behind him. And he's got this little parachute thing, and we're watching him just go off in the distance, and you could hear the motor. And I'm like, if that motor stops, he's not quite high enough for a parachute, is he? He's not low enough where he's not going to get hurt if that goes. So that's my point, is I got sidetracked by that machine, that hovering machine over the drone. But thank you for that. Look and see others with your heart. Yep, MG, that's right. That's so true. So that's what I started off the show talking about, is we go by outwards appearances too far, and we make judgments on people by their outward appearances, or by their age, or by their upbringing. But people are, I'm going to say, I was raised in a certain religion, and I'm nowhere near that anymore. That religion did not work for me. No way. And I know other people that way. Or, there's just different attitudes. When you learn and you grow, there's different directions you take. And that's why I say, don't put yourself in a cage. Don't put yourself in a box. We have a right to learn. The more experiences we have, the more people we talk to, the more we're going to change our mind, because we have more information then, right? What you see is not always what you get. Actions count, appearances deceive. So true, D-Dog. So true. Actions, what? Because people can talk a good talk, but they don't walk the walk. And I appreciate people, like I said, who fight the good fight. The underdog type of people. I've always been drawn to the unusual, say, the people that think outside the box, because I've learned and grown from that. I had a pretty basic, all-American, easygoing life. Basic, but the thing in me that was established were, I guess, the sense of truth, not lying, love, honesty, loyalty, family. So my experiences out there, hey, Adam, long time no see. So my experiences out there, through some of what my friends have experienced, is where I've learned and grown, because I can almost say I was sheltered. I lived like a sheltered but blessed life. And not everybody has that. And that's unfortunate. But the thing is, now, in the times that we're in, for me to stay in that zone, I couldn't live with myself. I don't want that. I have a drive in me to learn and try to help and try to heal, and try to educate as best that I can. And there's so much for me to learn, and so much I have learned, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty amazing. Decat, it's a long time no see. Love to you in your chat and devotions today and tomorrow. Light in your life. Thank you. It's good. It's been a minute since I saw you, Decat. But like I said, you guys, life is just such a journey. And, a lot of the so-called crazy people are the people that are the changers, movers, and shakers of this world, because people label them as crazy because they think outside the box. They dare to challenge authoritative figures. They dare to challenge themselves. They dare to even challenge family members to get out of their comfort zone. And I think that now's the time that, no matter what your upbringing, no matter what your age, no matter what your spiritual beliefs, is a time to gather together and share the experiences and be open to the conversations. That's it. That's how I believe we make change. It is so easy to sit back and be idle in life and say, that's just how it is. You're not going to make a difference. I've had that told to me by a family member. You have a good life. Why don't you just kick back and enjoy it and relax? And I'm not one for that. And when that family member said that to me, I was like, wow. Instead of being insulted, I thought, I'm sad for you that you feel that way, but that's your life, but it's not going to be mine. So we can agree to disagree. because that's the easy route, to sit back and say, you know what, I'm such and such years old, I'm going to be gone soon. It doesn't matter. It's so easy, and be, self-absorbed and trying to gather things, and I just can't do that. So I found that the people that have faced challenges, or the underdogs, are the ones that they don't have any fear, because they're out of their comfort zone all the time. My good friend, she's out of her comfort zone all the time. And it's pretty amazing, because she's taught me a lot. She's a fighter, and I love fighters. Because like I said, it's just in me. Not everybody's made to be that way. I totally understand it. I'm just giving you an insight to me. I just believe it's never too late to live your dreams, to be who you fully are, who God has meant you to be. It's just up to you to accept it and be open to it. Heal all your baggage, toss that crap out that you've been carrying around forever, and just put on the new form of who you are in Christ, and carry on. And it's going to be your best life. Not every day is going to be perfect. You're going to have challenges, but dang it, you're going to be living your best life. Let me see. You are crazy, D-Dog, but you're my kind of crazy. I've been called crazy too. Be blessed. Often mid your chat on the tube. That's good that you're in there and not talking. So you know what? I realize I'm going to have to wrap this up, you guys, because I have an appointment at dang 1:30. And I didn't expect to yammer on so long, but it was a good talk and a good conversation. I'm so happy to see some of you guys in here I haven't seen in a while. MG, you're new, but it's good to see you. And Benjamin, you're usually around. Thank you. DeCat, haven't seen you. Adam, D-Dog, my friend. All of you that were here, all of you that are listening, all of you that are behind the scenes, maybe not talking, that's cool. Cam, Rokabit J, I appreciate each and every one of you. Every time you come in and support me, or you look at the views, or you're in chat, Bethia, Beachy, I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for joining me today, but I've got to boot, scoot, and boogie and get the heck out of here, because I'm behind. So love you guys. Peace out. I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Take care. God bless. Love y'all. Bye.